Alright guys, today we're going to start looking at Chinese clones of popular guitar pedals. Um, this is for you guys who don't have the money to go out and purchase a Ibanez tube screamer for 200 bucks, etc. I have a list that I've been working on with another member. This is my list right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Basically, this is my Joyo pedal clone list, and from this list you can see the similarity between circuits. Some of these are not total clones of they'll change one little thing. They'll change like the op amp to a similar sounding op amp. But basically, I'll run down the list with you. The Joyo Vintage Overdrive, the green Joyo pedal, the JF01, is basically a TS808. The Ultimate Drive is a full tone OCD. That's been confirmed by some other members. There's a couple of little changes, but they sound very identical. Crunch Distortion is an MI Audio Crunch box. The Joyo High Gain Distortion box is a Marshall Shred Master. The Vintage Phase is an MXR Phase 90. Classic Flangers, Ibanez FL9 flanger. Dynamic compressors, the MXR Dynacomp. So basically, they've taken schematics from other builders and created clones. Now, some of you might not like that and think that that's all bad, but take it from me, I build pedals for a living, and people still request clones all the time. It's just part of the job. And they also request modifications to their pedals all the time. It's part of the job. Some people like the JRC 4558D op amp in their tube screamer, and some people like some of the TL chips sound better. Burr Brown sounds better to them. It's all preference. It's all what you hear and what you want. Tonally. Alright, so let's get this party started here. First we're going to check out the Joyo Vintage Overdrive. And this is Gearman Dude's video. Thank you, Gearman Dude, for doing this review. And I'll say right now, the gain sounds, the gain on the Ibanez, which, see, he's doing a comparison between a TS9 and basically what's a replica of a TS808. The TS9 is more gainy. I've had TS9s. I've modded them back to TS808s. My favorite is doing the TS9 Deluxe, which has a diode clipping switch already built in, and I'll modify that one back to TS808 specs, but leave the diode clipping switch in, and it's a really versatile pedal. I like that pedal a lot after it's modified. But you can tell right away that the TS9 is going to have more gain, but they're very similar. Now you can see him rolling them back because it's too much. Personally, I don't like the TS9 very much. Now I want to show you a different pedal. Obviously, you know, the Joyo, the JF01 is more of a TS808. If that's what you're after, that's what you're after. What I wanted to show you guys is the orange burst, and this is basically an exotic BB preamp that they've cloned. Great pedal. I have one and it sounds awesome. So let's let me see if I can find a little comparison here. You know, I've had both of these pedals, and you know, the cost of the BB preamp is pretty up there compared to the orange burst. Obviously, you know, the BB pedal, the exotic pedal is going to be built better with better components. I mean, you get what you pay for most of the time. But the orange burst, it sounds identical. I mean, it's almost like they didn't change anything. I actually think there's two preamp or op amp chips in this pedal, and one of them's different than the other one, but I can't really tell the difference in tone, to be honest with you. They sound so identical that, to me, I think the orange burst is a great value for the money. Another one that's not really a clone of anything is the hot chili pedal, and this is for you guys who are looking for more of a high gain sound. And I like this pedal. I mean, it's a great sounding pedal. See here, you got a bright and a bright switch and a normal switch. It kind of has like a mid scoop when you throw it down to the mid. Great pedal though. I mean, for all you guys thinking of a tube screamer, here's your alternative. So yeah, this one, I believe I picked mine up about, it was a while back, but I picked mine up for 20 bucks. I know this pedal's more than that now. I've seen them go up to 50 bucks on eBay. But if you look around, maybe Amazon, blah, 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 you probably still find one for, you know, 20, 30 bucks. Great sounding pedal, very full sounding. It compresses things a little bit, which I don't like. Some of you might like that, you know, if you know, combine it with other stuff or have an overdrive that's making things crazy. It does compress your tone a little bit. Great sounding pedal though, for the money. And that is the hot chili, which isn't, I don't think it's a clone of anything. It could be. Okay, so now another one is the JF16, which is their Joyo British sound. Okay, and the Joyo British sound pedal is basically a knockoff. It's another knockoff of the Tech 21 pedals. They have the Joyo California sound, American sound, the Joyo AC sound or AC tone. Then they have the British sound. All of them are Tech 21 clones, basically. fast forward a little bit here. So let's try American sound.
And it's a fraction of the price. I don't know how they do it. Anyway, it's really cool. It's an amp simulation pedal. So what it actually does, it replicates the sound of a Fender amplifier
It's a Tech
with a
21
mic in front of
pedal.
it. And basically you can run your guitar straight into it or through pedals like I'll show you into this to replace having your amplifier cranked. And it sounds fantastic. It's analog, it's not digital. It sounds warm, big and round in all the right ways. And I'm gonna use this on my new album. So yeah, I've just done a sample and it sounds fantastic. So let's check this out. Alright, I'm playing my Squier Classic Vibe Stratocaster. It's all stock. Here we go.
Basically, the clone that this pedal, the clone is the Tech 21 character, Blonde, is the American sound, I guess. You know, some people prefer like California sound.
But they sound great, and they also work really well when you've got lots and lots of gain, such as a pedal like this. So let's give this a shot. I'm not plugged into,
you know, if
amp.
you're more of
This
a
is
gain
essentially
junkie,
an
the
amp in a
California's
box. So what I'm
gonna
going to
be
do
for
is
you.
just run it direct into my sound card, straight into my computer, and in the chain I'm also running a Boss Fender FRV1.
Yeah, blah, blah. One thing I don't dig about this guy's videos is, dude, you're using a Telecaster. Okay, I mean, he should be using something with some hot humbuckers to play this thing, but whatever.
Let's go ahead, turn up the output, a little bit more drive, maybe a bit more high end. So I've just cranked up the drive with a little bit more output.
You know, I think this is a really useful one, actually. It's a really useful one. It's a little fuzzy sounding.
Nice.
But I think a lot of the fuzz factor has to do with the fact that he's using hot rails on a fucking telly. So, you're gonna get what you're gonna get with that. Alright, so, the Extreme Metal, the JF-19. Okay. So here's the Joyo Extremo El Metal-O. Now they say that this pedal is a metal muff, Electro Harmonix metal muff. I'm not so sure.
Probamos el Joyo Metal Extreme. Es un pedal muy barato, fabricado en China, que cuesta los 50 euros y está orientado a tocar.
I don't know if anybody's even
Es
done
una
a.
distorsión muy bestia. Bueno, vamos a probarlo con esta
dirty
Jackson.
dirt.
Nuestra idea era cómo poder sonar.
You know, nobody's done a comparison, it looks like, between the Extreme Metal and the and the metal muff. But a lot of people are saying that the metal muff is basically the same pedal.
Gold bar
Okay. I don't know that that's true.
The key to financial well-being.
Hey
It's just
folks,
what they're
welcome
saying.
to another quickie. Quickie means, and we have a funny from Joyo is the damn thing. Well, looks like the metal muff is actually just like that, and we're gonna check it out. Harmonics. And I thought it was really cool that I can actually check out the original, because to me it always felt like Joyo just fucked it up and broke the damn thing. Well, looks like the metal muff is actually just like that, and we're gonna check it out. This is a simple demo, so we'll go Framus, Pantera 2 master build. We're not gonna deal with single coil sounds. Who gives a flying rat's ass about those? It's dropped down to D right now. We're going into the metal muff, right into the Fender Hot Rod 3,
Hot
which is going
Rod.
into a 2-notes torpedo portion. We're gonna, but if you get that reference. You want the sound cleaner? Let me put it this way, it's not a pleasant sound, folks. It's very piercing, very sharp, and, well, that's what it is. It's the metal muff. For a lot of us, we hear this and we're like, metal! Metal! You know? But the problem with that is, a lot of metal sounds we know, especially classic metal sounds, it's all in the mids. A lot of more modern metal sounds might be this, but this is really grindcore, thrash, death something. A lot of these guitar sounds will disappear in a...
I don't know. I kind of disagree with him there because it's to me, it's a typical mid-scooped metal rhythm tone. I've heard on him a million albums, so kind of disagree with him there. All right, so that's basically the Joyo pedal's pretty much the same. So going from my list here, we have the Sweet Baby, and this is one for you blues guys out there. And this pedal is basically a Mad Professor Sweet Honey overdrive. Okay. I don't understand these blind test challenges when they do it like that. So let's go to a different one here. guy's annoying me. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Basically, this is a really light distortion. I think it's more well suited to somebody who plays like hollow bodies or just needs a little grit, just a little bit of grit on their signal path, or even to boost a channel on an amp. You could use it for that. Admittedly, though, it gets swallowed on my pedal board by some of the gain monsters that I've got on there. Plus I feel like with some of the higher gain pedals, I can still turn down the drive or the gain and kind of achieve the same tone out of those pedals, even though it's not cranked drive wise. There are some mods for this pedal, the Sweet Baby. There's one of them in particular that seems to work for a lot of people. You can look that up. You can look up Sweet Baby, Joyo Sweet Baby mods. It's an SMD. I mean, everything is surface mount on inside of this pedal, so it's somewhat difficult to modify. Not really. But there's one 47K resistor in this pedal that when you change it to a 100K resistor, it makes this pedal a lot better. And it actually makes the focus and drive controls more functional. So if you do get one of these, I suggest doing that mod. It's definitely worth it. Okay. So that's our other one. And then my friend told me I must mention the JF02, which is basically a full tone OCD. Okay, so Joyo Ultimate Drive. And I think they're charging too much for these now. It's just my opinion on the subject. I don't think that you should pay more than $30 for a Chinese pedal. It's just gonna break anyway, I mean, you're gonna have to replace those pots, the switch, whatever. It's gonna happen. This guy sucks, but as you can see, very similar pedals. With some of these, they're so, like, I know from these circuits, from taking these pedals apart, that the Ultimate Drive is a little bit different. It's basically the same circuit, but there are a few changes. You can't really hear them. I mean, I know some people will disagree with me, but I can't hear them. That's what the gain backed off. So I'll tell you what, if you're after an OCD clone, you know, then this is the one for you. So similar to the OCD, it's not even funny. Um, I like this pedal. I like this one. I like the orange burst that I showed you in the beginning. Um, I like that pedal a lot. Um, I like their vintage overdrive, which is basically a TS-808. I mean, I just built a TS-808 the other day, um, a handmade one for a client, and I've been comparing it to other stuff. It's a great sounding pedal, but we just have more stuff now to choose from. We have so many options now. I like the hot chili, which is spelled wrong. They spelled it CHIL, like chill CHILLI. I don't know why, but I like that pedal. It's kind of a red sparkle finish on it. Kind of a red matte, actually. It's a weird finish on that pedal. But that pedal sounds really full, and it works great for the higher gain stuff. The OCD works, the Ultimate Drive works great for the higher gain stuff. But yeah, I suggest checking these out. You could save some coin. The whole idea behind this is, you know, not all guitarists have tons of money and can just spend thousands of dollars on gear, and buy, pedals from me, for example. My pedals start at 150 and go all the way up to $300 or $400, and some people can't afford that. I realize that, but you can still get a nice tone out of these pedals on the cheap. They might not last. Your components are definitely going to be cheaper in these. The pots, for everyone, the drive, the volume, the gain, that'll probably be the first thing to go. The switch, all replaceable though. And at the price point, you could buy 4 of these, and just have 3 on standby for the price that you're paying for one of the other ones. So that's the advantage. Or let's say you have an OCD pedal and a full tone OCD, and you want to have a backup. Well, there you go, man. Get the Ultimate Drive, because now you got your backup. If your OCD pedal takes a dump on you and you got a gig, and you don't have your main distortion pedal, that's a bummer. So I mean, there's options. There's definitely options to doing this. There's a lot of debate about it though, like, are cheap pedals right for me? And I just think that's all such BS. They basically sound the same. And you can mod them. If you're handy with a soldering iron and you want to dive into the pedal building community and modifications, these are fairly easy to modify, if you can figure out how to get your through-hole components, which are the larger components. I'm trying to find something on my desk here to show you as an example. These are through-hole capacitors. These are polystyrene through-hole capacitors. Okay? So basically, you're going to have to get something large like this onto a PCB with a bunch of tiny ass components. That's what SMD means. Just think of SMD, surface mount device, as small as shit. They should have just named it small as fuck, because it makes it really difficult to work with. that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm a little tired from last night. It was St. Patty's Day, so I'm having my McDonald's freaking orange juice. Nursing my hangover a little bit. So, hope you guys have a good one. And I hope some of my pedal suggestions this morning were beneficial to somebody out there. Alright, have a good one, guys.